All right. So again, welcome everybody. Happy New Year. We are at the January 3rd, 2022 Southwick Conservation Meeting. It is 7 o'clock and is being taken place via Zoom. It is also being recorded. So if you would like to stay with us, you're welcome to. If you don't want to be recorded, then I guess you're just gonna. So let's do a roll call of commissioners who are on the call. So Dave McWilliams is on the call. I see Jerry Patria is on the call. Brian Drennan is on the call, and Marissa Cook Obregon is on the call. So we have a quorum, as well as Dennis Clark, a consultant for the board, and Jean, our secretary. So here we are. So why don't we start with taking a look at the minutes from the December 20th meeting. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to read through those already. I'm sure Brian has scoured them.
I did.
Did you find anything?
Gene and I went over it. There was no, we found nothing other than a potential date for publication, but I think we cleared that up. So I would make a motion to accept the minutes unless anybody has something else.
I'll second the motion.
Well, before we do that, the only thing I would add is under the enforcement order for 17 to 19 Noble Steed. The Conservation Commission will continue to monitor the site, which will include a restoration. I would like to see that say restoration plan.
Restoration what?
Plan, P-L-A-N.
Okay.
All right. That is really the only thing I picked up on. So if you want to go ahead and make your motion with the changes, that would be great.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes with that change.
I'll second that.
Marissa, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote aye as well. All right, what do we have? We have 2 minutes. Let me do the conservation coordinator position really quick. I think I can get that done relatively quickly. Just on the select board meeting with Jeannie Reed from CPC, they are going to move forward with putting the combined job together for our coordinator and the CPC coordinator. It's going to be about 32 hours a week. It will be a benefited position, so whoever signs onto that position is going to wind up as a benefited position. We have job descriptions for both within the next week or so. I believe we're going to try and get together and put together one job description that's going to cover both positions, and then it's going to go off to, I guess there's a legal counsel that handles employment for the town, and they will put together the formal job posting that will go online. So that's kind of where that fits. All right. We got 1 more minute. I think we'll just wait for our first public hearing. Everybody have a good New Year's Eve. Anybody still getting over it? Eugene?
Being sick, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll live.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we were awake all the way till like 9:30, I think.
Did you? Yeah. You guys tore it up? All right, it's 7:05, so we have our first public hearing. So the Southwick Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing under the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act 131.40 in the Southwick Conservation Commission Regulations and Bylaws, Chapter 182, Chapter 450, for a notice of intent. The proposed project location is Hudson Drive, map 42-002, parcel 42-2. The applicant proposes construction of a ground-mounted solar voltaic generating facility, portions of which are located within the 200-foot riverfront area. The meeting is taking place now and via Zoom. So who do we have online for this project?
Hi there, it's Tom Saunders here with Energy Development Partners.
Hey, Tom,
We're the project proponent.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year as well, thank you. I'll introduce, we have two other people on. Connie Liu is our project engineer. And we have Ed Evazinis, who is our environmental consultant.
Okay. So you guys want to walk us through the project?
Yeah. So like I said, I'm just the project manager with Energy Development Partners, so I'll be sort of the point of contact for everything here. The Southwick Solar Project will be, it's like you said, a solar photovoltaic generating facility with a battery energy storage system to be located in the southeastern corner of map 42, lot 2 at the end of Hudson Drive in Southwick, Massachusetts. Nameplate AC capacity will be 4.6 megawatts, and the DC capacity will total approximately 9 megawatts. We'll seek a special permit and a site plan approval, as well as a Southwick stormwater permit from the planning board. And I believe we are scheduled for January 18th for that public hearing.
Okay.
Some sort of quick facts on the project. The limit of work overall is approximately 24 acres. The footprint of just the panels itself is just about 15 acres. They'll be mounted on fixed tilt ground racking that's pile driven. The owner of this property is Tilcon Minerals Incorporated, and we've entered an option to lease agreement with them that will give us land rights for the lifetime of the facility. Tilcon currently has a existing excavation permit, which has a restoration plan as part of that permit. And this use is not specifically called out as a use that's available in that restoration plan. So in talking with the town planner, we plan to go back before the planning board once our special permit site plan approval have been granted conditionally, and ask that the applicable articles in the restoration plan be updated to also allow this use, to make sure that all the permits line up. We will be interconnecting this facility with the Eversource distribution system in the area that comes most of the way up Hudson Drive. And the system will be enrolled in the Massachusetts Smart Solar Program. That's an initial term of 20 years, after which the facility could get an extension of anywhere from 5 to 10 years or be decommissioned.
Can I ask when, and I know there's probably not been a lot of systems decommissioned just based on the length the technology's been out there, but what happens when a site is decommissioned?
Physically or financially?
Yeah, physically. Why don't we go with physically?
Sure. So obviously, as part of our special permit application, there's a whole decommissioning plan that's been submitted. The materials we submitted to the Conservation Commission, I believe we gave you guys everything we gave the planning board. So the proposed decommissioning plan is in that thumb drive that we gave electronically. But basically, the construction is done in reverse. So all the electric components are disconnected. The transformers and all the switch gear is removed, and then the panels are removed, and then the racking is removed. I believe we're proposing to also remove any concrete pads. And then usually any culverts or underground culverts related to stormwater are left in place, but underground conduits related to the electricity generation are removed as well.
About fencing.
Yep, fencing's removed.
Okay, so really the only thing that would be left would have to do with stormwater runoff?
Yeah, exactly. So any other features that are installed as a part of that, that still are useful.
Yeah.
Irrespective of the solar facility would stay. But the goal would be basically to just restore the land to pretty much what it is now.
Right. Can you pull up a copy of the plan?
Yes, I'm sorry, I should have shared my screen.
Both the site plan, I mean, I think I understand what you were just talking about from the reclamation plan, but the actual plan of the project plan?
Sorry, you mean the actual, yeah, hold on, I'm trying to.
Yeah,
share.
the one that shows the limit of work, the 200-foot riverfront, so
There we
that
go.
we see, there we go.
This is gonna be a little tight, but can people see this?
Can you zoom?
I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to zoom. Let me try this. Well, let me start here because this is the overall proposed plan, but the match sheets show much more detail. So if you can see your fences down here,
Mm-hmm.
access road through here. We'll be rerouting this current access road up in the middle is Tilcon's Hall Road, and we'll be rerouting their Hall Road to run just to the north. And we'll use a portion of that as the access road and the hammerhead for the turnaround.
So Tilcon's going to remain active.
Yeah, in
Behind
the
you?
portion of the site they're currently active in, they will remain active, correct?
Okay. All right, can you show us the plan that has the overlay of the 200-foot riverfront line as well as,
Yep, the green area on this plan is the 200-foot riverfront buffer, and the red line is Slab Brook. And
Okay.
So, yeah, so we've filed a notice of intent with the Conservation Commission and Mass DEP. So we're proposing four anticipated impacts to the 200-foot riverfront area. And those would be, let me go to this match sheet. They're better seen here. So this first one is well, I'll go to this one first. Sorry. This is our southern bioretention basin, and a portion of this falls within the riverfront area. And as sort of part of the whole project in general, we're proposing to do very minimal grading, no grading in the riverfront area, certainly. And so this is an existing low-lying area that we've been able to identify as a good bioretention basin. So what we're doing in here is proposing to do some limited debris clearing and vegetation management to make sure that this area continues to infiltrate well. The second one would be down here. This is a proposed stabilized construction entrance that would serve both the access road to our site and Tilcon's Hall Road for the duration of construction of the solar facility. And then up here, this small portion of Tilcon's rerouted Hall Road falls within the riverfront area.
what is the makeup of that? Is that going to be, it looks like you're doing gravel?
This is gravel, yep. This is gravel. The access road is dirt here, and it's going to be left dirt. And then as it comes into the site, it turns to gravel, but that's outside of the riverfront area. But we'll leave this portion as dirt. And the last one would be the linear utility connection along the western edge of Hudson Drive, coming across, starting at our gate, this first pole, which is not in the riverfront area, but then it would enter the riverfront area here. and run-
What specifically is that when you say is that just power line?
Yep, that's power line. So that's just your typical 25, 30-foot utility pole in a three-phase power circuit.
So is there going to be any ground abutments within the waterfront, or is the power lines going to just span it with towers on either side of the riverfront area?
No, there'll be poles at whatever interval Eversource dictates they need to be at. So I can't remember off the top of my head what that is, but this would be the first proposed pole here. There's another one right here. So there are a number of poles coming down the driveway and on the western side of Hudson Drive. And this is because this pole right here, which is called out, is the last pole that currently exists. So there are currently no utility lines in this area. We would need to basically have this circuit extended up into the site.
What does the installation of those poles entail exactly? I mean, how much soil would need to be removed? I mean, how deep would it go in?
I'm not 100% sure how deep. It's little to no soil remover. It's an auger that just drills the hole and they stick the pole in, and that's it.
Yeah, no
Tom-
footings, I would imagine, right? Are we just talking wooden poles?
Yeah, wooden poles. Yeah, it's just your typical electric circuit that you'd see on any other road.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
If I could just jump in, this is Ed Avazinis from Avazinis Environmental Services. I'm the professional wetland scientist and certified professional soil scientist that has been working on the project. But I just wanted to iterate, and it may be obvious, but where those poles are proposed are within an existing roadway, so that there's an existing crossing over Slab Brook. So most of those changes that we're talking about there on that western side are within an existing cleared, utilized roadway.
Excuse me, I'm Dennis Clark, the acting coordinator. Have we received any DEP comments on this file number?
I'll pull up their database right now and get back to you.
Gene, do you know if we received DEP comments?
Yeah, we did receive a file number.
Yep. Yeah.
And were there any comments on that, or there was?
Quite
They haven't-
honestly, I didn't see them.
There haven't
I
been
can-
any comments yet. Our DEP file number is WE 292-0396.
And were there comments on that page or no comments? When they issue the file number, they'll say comments or no comments on the page.
I'm just looking right now, sorry. We had a few, I think, standard sort of comments about solar photovoltaic arrays in general, but nothing about the utility extensions.
Are there DEP comments on there that need to be reviewed by conservation? We're going to get a file number. Gene, do you have a copy of that?
Yeah, but
Dave,
Tom's got to
you get a
stop
copy?
sharing his screen in order for me to get it.
Yeah, I can do that.
No, that's lot 6, Honeybird. Not 5 Honeybird.
Yeah, normally I'll receive the DEP
Yeah, but-
number in the comments, but I don't think
Mark
Mark Stinson's there
Mark
anymore.
Stinson's out. Here it is. Hold on, I'll share my screen. Can you see that?
Yep.
Those are the comments.
I never got a chance to review those comments. Anybody else on the commission get a chance to review those comments?
I have not.
Normally, we'll review them and then go back to the applicant and have them answer.
Yeah.
These did come in the week between Christmas and New Year's, so,
That'll do it.
you know,
Yeah, sure. Busy time.
can't blame you guys.
Maybe we could get a copy of those.
Yep.
I can
Well-
forward them off.
Yeah,
Thank you. So, I mean, typically in a project, and specifically a project of this size, we usually go out and take a look at the site anyways.
Yep.
So might I suggest that we schedule a site visit, particularly to take a look at the stuff that's happening, obviously in the riverfront area? And in the meantime, that'll give us enough time to get and review those comments. So if that sounds like something that's feasible to your side, I guess I would need for you to definitely ask for a continuance, and then we would go from there.
Okay, yeah, we're happy to do a site visit. So if you want to just coordinate that, you can coordinate that with me so I can make sure that the landowner and the people working on site are aware. We like to just give them a heads up. So I would ask for a continuance this time pending a
Okay,
site visit.
Is the 200-foot marking in place? You know, the flags, do you have flags up that we could look at?
Connie, you've been on site more than I have, so.
The 200-foot edge is not flagged. It's the mean annual high water line that's flagged, and we just marked it on CAD from there.
Normally, we like to take a look at, you know, the area that we're concerned with and interested in and see what the impact would be. Sometimes you'll have flags along that. Is that something you folks could do, or?
Yeah, we can have it flagged if that's useful. If that's how you guys prefer to view it, then we'll get it flagged.
that would be fantastic.
It normally helps. It helps us understand it a little better.
Sure.
So Tom, I guess my question is, can we pick a date tonight and see if you can get the interested individuals you were talking about to meet with us on that date and time? If we need to change it,
Yeah,
that's fine, but at least putting something on the calendar would be great.
yeah, that's totally fine. The property owner won't need to be present, but they'll just want to know that people are there. So I just need to give them a heads up. Just let me know what times generally work for the board and we'll make it work. And I will be present.
Okay, so I'll throw it out to the members of the board. Is there a specific date and time? And look, before we even do that, I mean, to get the riverfront area marked off, what kind of timeline would you need to do that? There's no point going out there before that gets done.
I would think we could get that done in the next couple of weeks. So we might want to go like 3 weeks out on this.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I think we don't have another meeting in January, so we're not going to meet again until early February. So
Right.
that time frame works. The date, and let's look at the calendar.
Yeah, I mean, any of the days like the last week in January, the week of the 24th,
Yeah,
any morning, any old morning in that week will work for me.
so mornings work best for you?
Yeah, 10 a.m., something like that.
So Jerry, I know you're retired too, so you says.
Any day but Monday, the 24th.
And Marissa, I know you can be somewhat flexible. I don't know if you can do a morning this far in advance.
Or really, anytime there's daylight, I can meet you there. I'm assuming you don't want to do it in the dark.
No.
Yeah, I can be flexible, Tuesdays through Thursdays generally, yeah.
All right, well, Dennis, you're done. What, can we do,
5th.
why don't we go the 25th and can we do, Dennis, 2 o'clock works for you or 2:30?
You know, if you wanted to do it earlier, I could be a little flexible on that too, but it's, if 2 o'clock works for you, that'd be good. Work for me.
Two's good. Yeah, 2 is good for me.
Marissa, that okay?
Yeah, that should work. Thank you.
And Brian, I know your schedule's probably tighter, but if you can, we'd love to have you join us.
If I can, I will. I mean, typically I'm at work, but I might not be on that day, so.
Well, you can call in sick. I know your boss.
Sure.
What's the date on that again?
That
Tuesday,
is
the 25th
25th.
at 2 p.m. Hudson Drive.
So do I hear a motion to continue the meeting until our next meeting? What's the day of the next meeting, Gene?
7th.
February 7th.
I'll make a motion to continue the hearing to February 7th.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
Marissa, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
And I vote aye as well. So we will see you folks at the entryway on the 25th at 2 o'clock.
Okay, Tom, I just need an email requesting the continuation for my files.
Okay, you got it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
All right, have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to the next public hearing. Paperwork in order here. So the Southwick Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing under the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act 131.40 and the Southwick Conservation Regulations and Bylaws, Chapter 182, Chapter 450, for a notice of intent. The proposed project location is lot number 9, Silvergrass Lane, maps 262, parcel 11-9. The applicant proposes construction of a single-family home, septic system, and associated site improvements within a portion located within the buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland. The meeting is taking place now via Zoom. Who do we have for 9 Silvergrass?
Hi, everyone. This is Ryan Nelson from R. Levesque Associates, representing
You know
the
you're
applicant.
Ryan.
How are you guys?
Well,
All right.
Good. Representing tonight the applicant you're all familiar with, Mr. Greg Hamlin of Hamlin Framing. If I can share my screen here. As Dave said, this is lot 9. So this is the east side of the Southwick Country Club subdivision on Silvergrass Lane. At the rear of the parcel, there are wetlands that were delineated as part of the original subdivision filing. So the wetland boundary is shown here, this E series, and that imparts a 50-foot buffer zone and a 100-foot buffer zone onto the parcel. So you can see a portion of the house is located within the 100-foot buffer zone. There's going to be some site grading. The house elevation is based on the groundwater elevations for the septic, which will be out front, outside the buffer zone. So there will be some fill around the back side of the house. Limit of work will be installed along the 50-foot buffer zone. So no work will be occurring within that inner 50-foot buffer zone to the wetlands. All the worked and regraded areas will be loamed and seeded and converted to lawn space. So it's kind of a typical cookie cutter of what has been occurring out on at the subdivision. So just buffer zone work only for a single family home.
Okay.
You looking for any monumentation on the 50 afterwards?
Yeah, we kind of expected that. Certainly open to you guys conditioning that along the 50-foot buffer zone.
No comments from the DEP, Ryan?
No comments. We did get a file number back and there were no comments.
Not a lot of elevation change there, huh?
No, that's what I was looking at too.
Yeah, right now, start of the road is 246, 245-ish in this corner. Goes
So-
down to 239 in the back. So
I'm
we
looking
have-
really more where you're grading. There's not building a heck of a slope in the back anyways.
No, and these were spaced out. These are at least a 1 in 5 or 6 slope.
Where's the septic system? That's in the front
Right,
there?
right
Oh,
here.
yeah,
Yep.
sure, yeah. Okay, yeah, it's as far away as it can be.
This looks consistent with all the other plans that the commission's been approving, so.
I agree.
Yeah. Looks that
I
way.
agree. I mean, I don't think there's a lot to it. I would almost make a motion to close the hearing. And then I would make a motion as well to accept the plan with monumentation at the 50 and a $10,000 bond.
Mhm.
What is, any comments from the rest of the commission?
That's typical, I think, so that's a good idea.
I'll second.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and formally make the motion to close the hearing. Do I have a second? Brian?
Second.
Jerry, how do you vote?
Yay.
Marissa?
Aye.
All right, I'm going to make a motion to accept the project with a $10,000 bond and monumentation along the 50. We'd be looking for the standard boulders. I think we went with 20 foot on center at our last meeting.
Yes.
Okay, Ryan? So
Yep, that's fine with us.
you made the motion. Anybody want to second it?
I'll second it.
And Marissa, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
We are all good here, Ryan.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
That's right.
Okay, let me keep that one out. So the next thing we have is a continuation from 370 North Loomis Street, which we went out and did a site visit, I believe it was the 27th, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
And it was Jerry, myself, Marissa, Dennis, Sabrina joined us on the site visit as well. Ryan, the young lady that you had come out and do the site visit with us did a fantastic job.
Well, that's good. She's learning quick. We're happy to have her.
Yeah, no, she was she's very impressive. So
Thanks.
try to keep her around, will you?
Will do. Thanks.
So Dennis, I saw that Randy Brown sent an email saying that he thinks it's going to require a stormwater permit through the planning board.
That is correct, yes.
Okay, but that doesn't really impact us. That's after the fact, right? Or do we wait to see that?
Well, we could ask Ryan how they want to handle that because, they want to have one plan submitted for both, so. If you,
Sure.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
we haven't received any comments yet from town engineering, so I'm not sure, what revisions need to be made, if any. We did anticipate a stormwater permit filing, but we want to see what the feedback from the Conservation Commission was first.
Well, I
Right.
mean, I think the first comment I had was it's an impressive amount of work that's going to need to be done out there.
No question about it. Yep.
It's not going to be a small project by no means.
Yeah, I think one of the things the commissioners asked for while we were out there was to see an actual design of the bridge. We're very curious to see actually how the bridge is going to be designed. And
Sure. I can elaborate on that a little bit if you guys have time.
Yeah.
On sheet W3, there's a cross-section profile. So these would be the bridge abutments. So this would either be a poured concrete footing or it would be a precast engineered block interlocking unit. And then there's a steel, pre-made steel, used to be a rail car that gets converted to a bridge, and that would sit directly on those abutments. And there are steel lags out of the footings or the blocks that the plates of these end plates of these rail cars tie into and get bolted onto. I do have some pictures. Just give me one second.
Yeah,
I'll bring
I'm
it up.
curious. So these are discontinued rail cars. So I'm assuming they're obviously the old flat cars.
Yes, give me 1 second. Try and get those up.
Ryan, one of the things we were wondering was about the surface of the bridge, right? Is it going to be a pervious surface? What was going to be across the top of the bridge?
1 second. Yeah, the website is struggling to load, but the bridge is steel, and I would assume there'd be like a wood decking that would be put on top of it. Here we go, just loaded.
We were kind of concerned on how it would drain. You know, if we could get like a top-down view.
Right. So here are some examples. That would be kind of more like it. See, this one has gravel inlaid inside the decking.
Okay.
Same with that one. But underneath it's a solid steel plate, essentially, would be the base of it. Let me see. So there was a project they did in Wilbraham, Mass. Here you can see the there's the steel piece, the one piece that's set in place. I'm trying to find a picture of the blocks.
I love the idea that they're repurposing something.
Right, yeah. There's a good picture right there. That's kind of how it would attach. Set right on those footings.
Yeah.
And it gets craned right into place on top of those.
So it would kind of drain in between the cracks into the stream, right?
Yeah, so this is a similar design. We're going to have two rail cars because I believe they're only 9 feet wide. So we're going to put two side by side to make it 18 feet.
Okay.
This one looks like it has a wood decking.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm sure water seeps down in between for sure.
What kind of wood is that?
I don't know.
I wonder if it's like treated with anything like oils or, you know, the old pressure treated stuff. Because that's, you know, you don't want that in your stream.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's something we can definitely find out. So that's a kind of a snapshot of the type of design and what the applicant is looking to have installed.
Right. It's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. That's a great concept.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome.
So Ryan, the other portion that commissioners were concerned about is proximity of the driveway to the intermittent stream. The plan that she showed us in the field did show a limit of work on it. And it's right at the 50-foot silt fence line.
Yep.
And I don't see the limit of work on this plan here, but I'd like to see that on the
Sure. So yeah,
plan.
we do have the silt fence right here that runs along the 50-foot buffer, which is the solid line. The darker one.
And it's quite a slope going down into the brook. I think the commissioners are wondering if you could come up with something in that buffer area to add some extra protection. I mean, you know, there's going to be plowing and different activities and operations and maintenance, some kind of operation and maintenance plan to ensure that area doesn't get degraded.
Sure. So maybe we can enhance this forested buffer area here. Maybe some sort of, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's pretty steep going right down there, and you know, things could eventually end up washing. I could see that happening if there is, unless you guys can come up with something to prevent that, to enhance the buffer area and protect
Right.
the actual resource area.
Something
Yeah.
that's gonna catch the water flowing off the side of that driveway, whether it's a little rain garden that's gonna sit right there to slow the velocity down, something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
sure,
nice
we
green
we
garden.
do have, the water is pitched to a low point right here, so there's gonna be a swale along both sides of this driveway. You can see this dashed line. There's gonna be a riprap shoulder on both sides. So the way this driveway turnaround area is pitched, the stormwater will hit the driveway, it slopes away from the garage, slopes away from the retaining wall, and it gets caught in this low point swale along the driveway. And also keep in mind that this is going to be a cut into the hillside, so the steepness of what you saw in the field won't be what it will be like under proposed conditions.
Well, the steepness will be the same because you're not going into that 50-foot buffer.
Right, outside the limit of work will stay the same, correct? But from the 50-foot buffer zone outwards, we're making
You're going to take material out of there, so you'll be below the line that's there now.
Yes, we're lowering the grade outside the 50-foot buffer.
Do you know how much you're coming down, Ryan, there?
Let me try and find a contour here. That's 270 is right here. So 266, so we're cutting 4 feet right here.
Mhm.
And then, cutting another 4 feet here, and it kind of incrementally goes down.
I know water's not supposed to run uphill, but if it gets enough rain, it will, get to a point where it could start washing down. I don't know. I'm just speculating because, in theory, it looks really good, but in practicality, things happen out in the field that the plan doesn't really compensate for. So if you could, I don't know, it's up to the commissioners, but I think that everybody would like to see some kind of protection enhancement. I'm not sure what you could come up with, but I'm sure you can come up with something.
Ryan,
Hey,
what
Jerry.
I'm sorry.
Marissa?
Ryan, yeah, sorry, Marisa here. What percentage, roughly, or if it's not percentages, maybe you can use some other unit of the vegetation, specifically trees, would be taken down between the end of the bridge and I guess up to the end of the driveway to the house? Like how much of that area would
So
be
from
taken
this
down?
area up to the house area?
Yeah, roughly how much of that? Because right now that's entirely wooded, so.
Right. The total limit of work is 57,840 square feet. I'd say probably 50,000 of that is occurring on this side of the stream. So let's say about 50,000 square feet. So a little bit over an acre.
Of the trees will be taken down, okay.
So all of that on the downhill side from the house is going to be lawn? Or just,
Yes, this would be lawn. Because we have to cut the grade so much, we can't retain the existing trees. We have a fill and a cut along this slope. We won't be able to retain the existing trees and have them survive likely. So we could plant trees afterwards, but for construction, they have to be removed.
And that goes right into the rain garden at the bottom there?
Yes.
Yeah. And this is Diane Hodges, the proposed owner, and we have talked to some arborists, and there's some of the area where it starts to fan out toward the bottom that there's a possibility of saving some of those trees. And we are, as prospective owners, really interested in saving as many trees on the site as logistically possible. And there's limitations on that because of the grade changes, but there's also things like circling up within a certain base of the tree, and some of those trees might be savable. It has to do with drip edge and maintaining a root system that's intact.
Right, and I was asking that as well with the idea that if you are going to still have some sort of grade, root systems can be helpful in terms of erosion control. So
Yes,
it would be
yes,
helpful to kind of work with the elements that nature provides to shore that up a bit. So
right, right. We're very interested in keeping it a tree lot as much as possible.
Mhm.
So there's a couple of things you need to get back to us with, Ryan, right? Is so far that I've gotten today is the type of wood that's going to be used if it's going to be wood on the decking of the bridge. I mean, it's pretty important for us to know if it is going to be wood or if it's going to be gravel. So if you can come to some conclusion on what that's going to be. And if it is wood, what type of wood? And I agree with Jerry. We want to make sure that the wood isn't seeping any chemicals down into the riverfront, which I doubt it would, but I would feel better knowing what you're using. Second thing is the maintenance plan along that intermittent stream that Dennis was talking about, giving us something there that we feel confident is going to slow down any flow going down into that river. Understanding that you have riprap there, but something a little bit more than that would be appreciated. And the last thing is the plan, the stormwater plan for DPW, right? So you're confident that what's on here addresses their needs?
So while I haven't gotten any feedback from them, we've incorporated the same designs that we've used for past projects. Similar one is for Jay Gearkin that was just approved. Similar things. We have a rain garden, riprap shoulder on both sides. We're capturing roof runoff. While it's not required under Mass DEP for a single family home for these areas outside the buffer zone, we're still trying to provide for that.
Ryan, when did you submit that plan to Randy? Because when was the email we got from him, Dave? At the time we got the email,
it was between the holidays.
It sounded like he had not received the plan, and we're supposed to remind you that you needed to submit one. If you already have, then you have.
I was unaware of that. I haven't had any correspondence, so I can gladly forward it to him. But
Dennis, he asked about it and he got it right from the website, from our site. He did look at it.
Well, no, it's the stormwater plan is a separate, has to be approved by, it's a separate, other than conservation. He would need to have a plan submitted. Ryan knows, he does it all the time.
yeah, it's just a separate application, but we would be using this same plan.
Yeah, he sent this out on the 28th. He said, it appears that the disturbance area will exceed 1 acre. As such, the applicant is reminded to file for a stormwater permit through the planning board.
Okay, yep, we were intending to do that.
Okay.
Is that something that the commission is waiting for approval first, or would that be something you would entertain the condition prior to?
Well, it'd be good to have it approved first, or at least know it's going to be approved. So you don't have to, condition it and come back again.
Okay.
And the planning board is scheduled to meet on the 18th, I think is their next scheduled meeting. So Ryan, you could probably have that wrapped up prior to us getting back together, which I think we mentioned was February 7th.
Okay. Yep, we will do our best.
All right. So I guess, Ryan, I think we're going to need we could either vote on it, or I would recommend that you ask for a continuation. And then we can get these two pieces of information from you, and you can work with DEP and planning board in the meantime.
Okay, if that's okay with the applicants. I know they're up against some real estate deadlines. I just want to check with them first.
That will work.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then, yes, we'd be requesting a continuance.
All right, so I'm going to make a motion to continue this until the February 7th meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
That was Brian Drennan. Do I have Marissa, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Jerry?
Yes.
Right, Ryan, so if you could just dig in and grab that information for the next meeting, we'd like to get this thing wrapped up and get you guys moving on.
Yep, absolutely. We'll get it for you. Thanks.
Also, Ryan, if you can find out what kind of wood that is, that'd be good to know.
I will. Yes, we'll ask about that.
Sorry about that, but it's important.
Yeah. no
Nothing
problem.
from the rainforest.
Right.
Right. No, I know it. DEP Chapter 91 specifically says no pressure treated, so on their
Yeah.
docks and things. So it makes sense.
Okay, thanks.
All right, the next hearing we have is a continuation for 112, 110, 138 Hillside Road. Ryan, you're still here on that one, I'm assuming?
Yep. Hi, everyone. So Ryan Nelson from R. Levesque Associates. I believe Kate Bednaz, the peer reviewer, sent an email this morning to Dennis, just kind of updating where we were at. So Kate had sent me a list of revisions and areas where the flagging needed to be refreshed. Last week, we worked on that and accomplished that. I've updated the plan. I sent that to her as a preliminary draft. She has not had time to go out and review those revised areas. We hope to do that this week before the snow later this week. And hash that all out. So next meeting, you should have a final revised plan that she supports.
Okay, Ryan, so you're looking to continue that as well?
Yes.
All right, I'll make a motion to continue the hearing until the 7th. I have a second.
Second.
Ryan?
Aye.
Marissa?
Aye.
All right. That gets us through the public hearing process.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Ryan,
Thank you,
have a great night.
Ryan.
So let's jump into new business. There's a request for a partial certificate of compliance for 12 Jared Lane. Dennis, have you gone out and seen, have they complied with? you done a
Yes,
visit?
yes, David, I have reviewed that, and that particular lot is in compliance with the order of conditions. There's no bond on it, so there's no bond release, but it's just a simple partial certificate of compliance just for that one lot.
Okay, I don't remember what was going on there. Was it?
Well, part of that subdivision was in the riverfront area. This particular lot was not. There was a few conditions on the riverfront area lots, but this was not one of them.
Okay. All right, so we're looking for a motion to remove these. How would you best word this? To
Issue
remove-
a partial certificate of compliance.
Thank you. So we're looking for a motion. First off, does anybody have any questions to Dennis regarding this, or anybody else on the call? All right, so do we have a motion to offer the partial certificate of compliance?
Are you making one, Dave?
No, I was asking for one.
Oh, okay. I'll make a motion to approve the partial certificate of compliance for 12 Jared Lane.
We have a second?
I'll second.
Marissa's second. Jerry, how do you vote?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. The next thing under new business is proposed lake closure protocol. So Norm, I see you're on the call.
Yes.
Did you?
Hi, Norm.
Aye.
Do you want to
brought-
review this with us?
Well, I don't have the specific data in front of me, but the approval process has to be first the harbor master, then the Conservation Commission, and then select board.
Okay,
And in the prior protocols, we had the no wake zone. And we determined, or we believe that it's too difficult to enforce the no wake. So most of the lakes around the Northeast don't have a no wake. They just go open for boating, not open for boating. And there's certain levels, and the levels I don't have in front of me. But that should be with the police chief now, and then it should be coming to you for approval before it can be instituted.
Okay. So this is just informative at the moment. There's really nothing for us to do at this point.
That is correct.
Okay. Well, since we have you, is there anything else from,
There is not. We're in our winter schedule now. We only meet once a month. Our next meeting is on the 13th of January. So I have no update for LMC.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
I do.
You do? What do you
Okay,
got?
all right.
I've sent out the applications for all the associations on the lake
Ah,
for their
Okay.
members and their docks.
Are either of you two members of any associations? Have you received those?
I send
guys-
them out just to the chair or the controller
Oh,
of the
okay.
association.
Yeah,
Not
because
to the
Jerry, you're part of
individuals.
that South Pond Association, right?
And Sabrina too. Yeah,
Oh, Sabrina is as well?
sure. We're the South Ponders.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I sent the packet to Beth
Okay,
Beth
good.
Thomas.
So Beth is our, person in charge there. Good. All right.
Okay, good. Yeah, I saw that, Gene. Thank you very much. Dennis, you had asked that the 11 North Pond erosion control?
Yes, yes. We got some new pictures of that. I saw that they had staked in all the hay bales. At the last meeting, you had the pictures were plastic on the hay bales. Oh,
No,
I'm sorry, 11
that's
North Pond.
22. 11 North Pond, they had elected a
right,
Wyben
right.
Construction.
Right. A erosion control monitor.
Right.
And that was Wyben Construction. Andy and Matt, owners of Wyben Construction from Westfield, are being nominated for erosion control monitors for the notice of intent, order conditions for 11 North Pond. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We ever worked with them in the past? I mean,
So I think they'd be the best ones for it because they're going to be doing the work, and they'll be sending photographs and reports while they're doing the work to the commission.
okay. Do we need to approve them? Is that what?
Yeah,
is here?
you need to take a vote and approve that.
Okay. Well,
Posted.
before I ask for a vote, does anybody from the commission have any questions regarding the project or the Wyben Construction? All right. So all in favor of accepting the North Pond, I'll go around and do it, roll call. But so I, Dave McWilliams, say aye. Jerry,
Hi.
Brian,
Aye.
Marissa.
Aye.
Excellent. All right. They are duly noted. So we updated the LPP, we updated the Conservation Commissioner. You were talking about Bab Road, Dennis? So they took all the
Yeah.
plastic off and they staked them down, you were saying?
Yeah, and it spread the hay. He sent us. You got the pictures that he sent off, right? The
Yeah.
little report. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
no,
doing
that's
it. That appears to be in compliance at this time.
good. And
And
17 to
Noble
19.
Steed,
Yeah.
go ahead.
You saw he sent an email today saying he thought everything was good. I haven't had a chance to go by there. Not necessarily gonna just take his word for it. Did you get a chance to swing by it all? See?
Well, once the ground is frozen, it's going to be a lot more stable than it has been. So
Right.
we'll
Okay.
just keep an eye on that ongoing.
Yeah,
Make sure
absolutely.
the spring we don't have any huge spring surprises.
Yeah, no doubt. Two more things under old business and then we can adjourn. Open meeting training, there are 2 sessions scheduled for this month. One is on the 12th at 6:30 PM and the other one is on the 26th at 9:30 AM. If you could put yourself on one of those two agendas and go through that training, I believe it is a mandatory training through the town now. So we can get trained up on that. I am taking it on the 26th at 9:30. So if anybody wants to have a coffee clutch and go through some training
Yep.
together,
I'll
love
be
to
there.
join you somewhere. What's that?
I'll be there on the 26th.
All right, we'll find a nice place to sit down and have.
All right, man. Let's do it.
And really, the only other thing that I have before I turn it over to the group is the budget. Right, so budget hearings are going to be coming up. They're going to be looking for information from conservation. I know Dennis and I had a brief conversation about what we'd be looking at for 2022. And I think Dennis's recommendation would be to try and get an increase of the budget for the land maintenance, the properties that are under our control and what we do on those properties to see if we can get an increase in that. But I do have a question because usually these documents have come to me in the past as they have to all of us. But there's always a document that says what the budget was for the previous fiscal year and what the expenditures were. So does that come from the finance committee or is that something that we've put together in the past? And I'm asking either Dennis or Jean.
That comes from the accounting department.
Okay, so we really don't do much of anything, I guess. We can't even make any decisions until we see that. And the reason I say that is because there's the big allocation. The biggest allocation is really for the conservation coordinator. There was a budget that was put in there, and I'm assuming we didn't hardly touch that budget at all last year. But then to offset that, we have an over expenditure on the consultant fees for Dennis's fees. So I want to see kind of what those numbers come in at before we start putting together a plan to figure out what we're going to ask for. I would imagine, as in any year, it's going to be a request of level or negative funding, but you know, those who ask for more get more. So do you have any idea when they expect those to go out, Jean? Have you heard anything on that?
No, I haven't gotten anything. I can ask for the current expenditures and see how much we have left in the budget.
Yeah, that would be good. And I know Sheila Chamberlain, who was the woman that liaisoned with us last year, has reached out to see if we wanted to work with her again. She was actually very pleasant to work with last year, so I think I'll make that overture. I don't know if anybody else wants to be involved in the budget conversations directly with her. If so, let me know and I can make sure that you're included in on the conversations. If not, I'll just proceed. And that's kind of it for the agenda. Does anybody on Zoom have any questions or comments? Wow, nice. Does anybody want to make a motion to close the hearing or close the meeting?
I'll move to close the meeting.
I'll
I second it. Dave McWilliams. Brian Drennan.
Third.
And Marissa.
Fourth.
Fourth. I like it. It's a clean sweep. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for your time. Happy New Year to you all.
New Year.